we are going to do it today. So what I'd like you to do is you should have a note card. So you could use that, or you can use your ruler, whichever you'd like. And we're going to use our Sharpie. And so what we're going to do is Paul Klee has a piece of art that I will have in our directions, though the black and white version isn't so great when I print it out. And it will also be on our, on the slideshow or the other video that I show you of Paul Klee stuff. So Klee, excuse me. And he has created these pieces of art where there are all sorts of buildings, and they're made up of squares and rectangles and triangles. And so what I would like you to do is I would like you to create a bunch of buildings using either the ruler or the index card, the way I'm using it right now. And I want you to use your Sharpie. So we don't want to take too much time. I don't want you to start with a pencil because I'm afraid that then it'll, we won't have enough time to get through our lesson. And so here I am making lots of shapes with straight lines. And I'm going to work on filling up this whole page with various building structures. So I'm going to keep doing this, and then after I make my structures or fill in my page with different buildings, I'm then going to try to make my black lines a little bit wider and a little bit thicker, similar to, just so it can have a little bit more depth. So that is step one. You can press pause. Okay, so I have filled my page with lots of buildings. I have tried to use my ruler, and then I've also tried to make the lines a little bit thicker and a little bit wider, and I will say that that was a little bit challenging. So if you have just regular markers, the wide markers, and you have a black marker, that might be a better thing to use than the Sharpie marker, because the line would naturally be a little bit fatter and you wouldn't have to worry about it. So this comes the really fun part. What we're gonna do is I'm using pastels. If you would like to use crayons or colored pencils instead, you can certainly do that. You were given pastels if you were in class on Thursday. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to now color in the different blocks that we've created. And for this particular one, I'd like to maybe use a gray, like a scale. So I'll make this a little bit lighter and make this super light. And so I'm gonna incorporate values. So I'll make this extra dark. And so I can make this a little bit darker. And I'm going to color in all of these different squares, different colors. For my piece of art, I'm going to use similar or related colors for each building. So then that way you have a better idea of which building goes with which. And then I can't wait to see what your piece of art looks like. All right, so here's my Paul Klee. I wanted to show you my final drawing coloring because there are two different approaches here with the pastels. And on this side of the page, I did not blend. So you can see that the colors are a little bit stronger, but there's also more white showing through. On this side, I did take a paper towel and wrap my finger around it and then blended the colors together. And you can see it's a little bit softer, but it's also a little bit more consistent. So you can play around with it. You can have some buildings that you blend and some that you don't, but have fun. And I can't wait to see your very colorful Paul Klee inspired cityscapes.